Welcome back to episode 004 of the STEREOCAST. Today we'll be talking about our biggest project up to date with our good friend Grant.
You're tuned into the STEREOCAST, a digital diary of the creative journey of STEREOFACE. If you're enjoying the show, consider subscribing and joining us on the journey to 100 subs.
On that note, we want to thank our one new subscriber on YouTube for a total of 9, as well as our Instagram followers. Not seeing growth this week, but shout out to our existing 59 followers. Thank you so much for being a part of this community.
We make our bread and butter from the direct support of you, the listener. Visit our website, stereoface.vision. That's stereoface.vision, no.com, to see what's available and what's on the horizon. My name is Sam, and as always, I'm joined by Noah. How's it going, dude?
Good, man. How are you?
I am doing good. We ran through that intro again, and I think that was a way better take. So
yeah, I want one take for sure.
That's right. But no, dude, it's Friday. We're filming a STEREOCAST, and things are looking up. As you mentioned in the intro, we are talking about our first really big project that we did, a one-of-one pair of overalls that we made with our friend Grant.
Yep.
But first, let's get into our updates here. We have personal, professional, and interests. Why don't you kick us off, Noah? What's going on personally?
I recently got blood work done for the first time. That's probably not a good thing, but it's a thing. Everything checked out. My vitamin D is fairly low. We had a conversation about that Wednesday. Yeah, man, it's kind of just got me. I've always assumed that it was low, just by what people have told me. Really, with that, just trying to figure out a healthy lifestyle that I could kind of change to fix that, because there's definitely drawbacks from not having enough vitamin D in your blood. So
you got to get some more sunlight, dude.
Yeah, get that sun. I got my window open. I don't think that really does a lick of anything. But how's your personal life going this week?
It's going good. I don't have really much to bring up. The one thing I did want to touch on, which I feel like this is a whole conversation in itself, is like last week I found it hard to really speak from the heart and really like speak meaningfully. We were talking about new concepts like Prada's first clothing line, and I like that was all new to me, and it was really hard for me to speak on it because then there were like elements of like fascism and stuff like that, and I really felt myself like close up. It was interesting because like this is a whole new experience for me, like talking publicly on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to notice how your like mind automatically filters things that takes away from the conversation. I just thought that was really interesting that I hope that I can work on over time.
I feel like I tend to do the same thing, especially if it's stuff I'm not well versed in, and by no means am I well versed. And so I definitely tend to shut down as well if I don't really fully understand or feel comfortable talking about the subject, especially with a camera and a microphone in my face.
Yeah. I think we're doing a reasonable job as long as we can admit our ignorance.
Yeah, I have no problem admitting it.
Yeah, all good. Professional, what's going on?
So we kind of just figured this out yesterday. We want to start doing a vaults collection of stuff that we made for ourselves that we never planned on releasing publicly or sell it. But there was a comment that you sent me yesterday that gave me so much happiness. It was somebody asking if when our hoodies are going to be available. I'm not sure exactly what hoodie they were referencing exactly.
I think it was the silhouette crew neck
in
the lightning yellow.
The lightning yellow. Yeah. So, I mean, we never planned on releasing that. I don't know if you want to announce it, but do you?
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
If people are interested in what we're wearing and it's not publicly available, but it's doable for us to produce, and we produced it before, we want to offer the ability for people to purchase that kind of like made to order, essentially. Yeah. I saw that comment come through at like 9 p.m. my time. And I was like, oh shoot, I have to build like something on the website, like just in case they want to.
Right.
And so I spent about like 2.5 hours doing that. And, but yeah, the STEREOFACE vault, I mean, we're trying to figure that out. But as we continue to make things Some of them will be publicly available as part of the collections, but I mean, also we just make things because we like to.
Yeah.
And it'll be more personal, and I guess that's up to our community to determine like how much do they like it too, because they'll end up seeing it inevitably. I guess that's both of our professional, because that's really what I wanted to say. What I do want to touch on professionally, I think we'll pin for next week.
Okay.
Because it involves like the mindset of STEREOFACE and how being ecologically conscious is among some of our values. And I really want to touch on that next week, because I think that's a bigger like brainstorming thing to talk about. But the STEREOFACE Vault for sure is a recent update professionally that I hope that we can build out over time for sure.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot to add to the keeping things nice and safe for the earth. You know, I wrote a piece just for myself to kind of walk myself through my thought on it. Let's save that for next week, and we can really get into depth about it, because I feel like we both have a lot to say.
All right, and then getting into interest, what you got for us, Noah?
So I'm a pretty big car guy, and I don't really I haven't had a chance to talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it today as my weekly interest. I would absolutely love to have a Lancia Delta Evo 2. I cannot afford that, nor do I think that is something I am willing to spend in the near future. I've gone through a build that I want to do in my head that mainly focuses on upholstery, but also like an engine swap, but that's not really the point I'm trying to bring up. So I follow Maturo cars and Camara cars. They're both resto mod companies. Maturo takes Deltas, and Camara really builds it from the ground up to reference a Lancia 037. They're both Group B race rally cars from the 80s, 90s. Their attention to detail is just so absolutely insane. Maturo completely redoes the interior, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So really, that's all I want to speak on, that is the attention to detail. And it kind of transfers to my thought for STEREOFACE is just true quality, especially within the details. Put as much thought into it as possible. Just make a good quality product, you know?
Are you wanting to collaborate with Maturo and Camara?
That would be an insane dream to be able to do that. I'm a big Lancia fan. I'm a big Lexus fan. I love their reliability. Lancia is kind of the opposite spectrum of that. I don't know a single person who would be able to work on those cars here. Really, my biggest dream at the moment is to make a STEREOFACE Hot Wheels size model car for what I want. That's like the biggest dream I can see happening at the moment. But to collab with somebody with the just insane skill and talent that these people have to be able to collaborate with something like that would be absolutely nuts. I know Porsche did a collab with Aime Leon Dore. If I could do something like that, that would be absolutely crazy. Yeah, what's going on with you, man? What's your weekly interest?
Interest with me, I recently came across an Instagram post from this company called Ulu that I've been following for a couple of years. They make plastic alternatives made out of seaweed. And the post in particular was their latest like innovation in fabric. I was really excited at the idea of us at some point working with Ulu, maybe trying to get our hands on this new innovation in fabric, just because I think it's super cool. And I'm really like excited about like what the company's about and what they do. Because literally they started back in like 2020. Michael Kingsbury and Dr. Julia Reiser.
Okay.
They operate out of like in Australia, I think. Dr. Julia Reiser was she's from Brazil. She was studying like sea turtles because she's an ecologist.
Okay.
What she noticed is that the sea turtles were like mainly eating plastic. Wherever she was, like the sea turtles were just eating plastic, and like that's kind of mind-boggling. And I think that kind of set her on a journey to like study more about like plastic recycling and like the effects of plastic in the ocean. So then 2020, she partnered up with Michael Kingsbury. They launched Ulu. I can't explain how they do it, but they take seaweed. It goes through some sort of chemical process where they end up with like essentially these like dehydrated pellets. If you're familiar with like injection molding, with how like normal plastic works,
Yeah.
it starts off as like a pellet that they like melt down into whatever mold or whatever form they have. So they've gotten this seaweed to do the exact same thing as fossil fuel plastic, but you can throw it in a compost bin and it'll degrade in like a month. But then they also have like these pellets that the pellets are melt spun, which I have a vague understanding of how like cotton is spun into yarn and stuff. Essentially, they can melt these plastic pellets in a way that makes this like fiber. I was super stoked to see that Instagram post, and I want to do whatever I can to get my hands on some of this Ulu fabric, because I think that would be so cool to do like a one of one, just like prototype of something. But it's just, it's cool to know where your materials come from.
Right. A big story behind that. Like there's a message in it too that it'd be awesome. Like could see us doing like a pamphlet with it and
no, exactly.
Because polyester is horrible for the environment. And make an alternative to polyester. I think polyester is one of the more common fabrics to use for clothing. It's cool to see people doing alternatives to that stuff because it could potentially help a lot.
So on our vision boards is Lancia Restamod and collaborating with Ulu.
Perfect. Let's get working on it.
That's right. So yeah, I think that about wraps up our updates here. Business side, let's set this up, dude. Our one of one first collaboration with our friend Grant Basic. Tell us about what we made.
They're Capero overalls. It's technically a 10 panel, but 5 in the front, 5 in the back panel. Overalls that were all hand dyed and used a couple different techniques that I haven't used before. Worked pretty closely with Grant to get his vision in there, and I love how they turned out. I'm so ecstatic about how they came out.
We chatted with Grant this past Wednesday. We got together for a good hour conversation. So we're just gonna cut to it. All right, the gang is in 3 different time zones right now.
Yeah.
Grant, how's it going, dude?
It's going. I'm chilling right now. I had a day off today. I've been in bed for most of it.
Dude, what are you wearing? I love that jacket.
Thanks. Yeah, this is my favorite thing to wear with my STEREOFACE shirt that you guys gave me. It's I don't know, I got it from a thrift store here, but it's got like this paisley pattern on it with the exact same shade of yellow, coincidentally, that your shirt is.
Dude.
Yeah, and it's like all in all the pockets, and it's got some random patches on the pocket and on the back of the shirt. There's like random shapes that have been cut out and stitched onto the back of it with the paisley.
Sweet. I feel like this is more of a conversation between Noah and Grant, because I had so little to do with it besides like the media side. So
yeah. Will you see it if I hang it over the chair? Probably not a whole lot, but I'll hang it back over the chair, so if I ever need to reference directly, I can pull it and show exactly what I'm talking about. It's right here.
What's your guys' favorite detail in that garment?
Can I do a tie?
For sure.
I like the strap because I like the functionality, but also the big STEREOFACE patch on the front. I just like your guys' logo. I mean, I think it's a cool logo. It's a cool name. It gets people asking questions. I love telling people that I got cool ass friends that make clothes for me. So I like just this big patch, and when I wear it, people are like, "Where'd you get that?" And then I can shout you guys out, and it's always a fun interaction to have with people.
I gotta say the gradient. I've never done anything like that before. Well, I've never really done anything like any part of what I've done for those overalls before. But yeah, I think the dyeing was super cool.
Noah, can you set up like the context of like when we reached out and why we reached out?
Yeah, so me and Sam were talking about doing like more collaborative projects. I really couldn't think of anyone better to start it out with. Yeah, get some creative juices flowing with some friends.
Yeah. I was super excited about it, and it was great timing because I was also trying to find like a new type of clothing article to add to my wardrobe. I don't like having a lot of the same thing. So I have, like 1 or 2 pairs of jeans, 1 or 2 pairs of sweatpants. And I just like to have really nice things that I can just like, for lack of better use. I'm really rough on my clothes. I like things that are useful and things that are durable. And I don't see the point in having $120 pairs of pants when I can have one, $100 pair of pants that I just wear all the time. So
Yeah, man.
it sounded like I had a chance to get exactly what I wanted from some trusted friends, and I was super jazzed about that.
That's
Hell
awesome,
yeah.
man.
Straight up utility pants.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are too. I put them through their pace.
Or I don't know, Sam, if you heard, but we had a little strap malfunction, unfortunately.
Oh, for
Yeah,
Um,
real?
I got a little too rowdy on New Year's Eve, and the strap gave out on me. But
yeah.
I've been scouting around to try and find someone that will fix them that I trust will do a good job.
Okay, so then Grant, let me ask you, design wise, where was your head at when we came up with these?
Was playing a lot of guitar, and certain things were getting on my nerves, and I realized that we had a chance to fix them with these pants. So, like, the main feature, which I really like, is this loop. I got them on both sides. So there's one brown loop on the pant leg there, and there's a green loop on the pant leg over here. And basically, just if I'm playing guitar, I wanted a spot to put the input cable through so I could move around and not step on anything, trip on anything, unplug anything, because I have yet to sell out and buy a wireless input for my instrument. I bought a cable a long time ago, and I said when it broke, I'd replace it with a wireless one, and it is still kicking. If you wear guitar, it's the perfect height. If you play guitar, you feed the cable right through. Because like you
Okay.
can also put it through like under the strap, but
Mm,
then depending on how much cable you have to work with, you either have a ton hanging out, sticking out by your elbow, or the
right.
cable's up like right on your heels. And if you walk backwards, you can step on it. So it's right at the hip or just below the hip and then pointing straight back is like the perfect spot for it because then it doesn't ever get in my way.
Dude, that's so good to hear.
And so then Noah, can you talk us through like the blank that we worked off of and the tweaks that we made in terms of like color? I'm sure you both can speak to like why certain colors were chosen, why like certain designs were chosen. I really want to get into that.
Yeah, do you wanna kind of speak of the initial design? Because I know, Grant, you were brains behind the initial design.
I just wanted a pattern, but I don't like patterns printed on stuff. So I thought if there was going to be a pattern and I happened to have a seamster that I could annoy with the task of doing lots of stitching, that I could have the pattern be made out of stitching on the clothes. So I wanted all these different layers. I also wanted it to be like, I wanted it to be apparent that this wasn't like store bought. Like this is like unique. You know, you're not these seams serve a purpose and it's purely a visual purpose, which I think came out quite nicely. I wanted like a wavy pattern on them. So you got two slightly different shades of green next to each other. It's hard to show because I don't have the best lighting. But this waviness goes all around with a gradient from the middle out. Then you've got some brown pieces that I think goes quite nicely with the green and on the straps or leather on the straps. Sorry, more brown fabric on the front. I'm really trying to show this off. I didn't, my fish tank light's not quite doing. I don't do Zoom calls.
Dude, I
There we
literally thought that
go.
was daylight.
No, that's my fish tank.
I thought
Nah,
this
dude,
was by a
It looks
window.
so convincing.
it's dark
Oh,
as shit out here. It's 7 p.m., dude. It might as well be midnight. But yeah, I love green. Brown goes great with green. Coincidentally, I knew we were going to put leather on it, which also in most situations is brown. So I thought the brown and green vibe would be cool, along with the wavy patterns and textures. And it came out exactly as I had hoped, thanks to the wonderful craftsmanship of dearest Noah over here.
I mean, I've seen the footage of what you did. I'm like, that's pretty crazy having to cut it. Like you cut it up and then you stitch it all back together.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, if I had to ballpark it, probably within the realm of like 8 to 12 hours. So we started off with some Dickies painter's like a painter bib. It was all white canvas. After me and Grant kind of finalized the design, I went and did all the wavy cuts. I numbered them all so I would know which order to kind of do the gradient dye. So for that, I just did a green bath. I mixed a couple colors to make it green. And then I did intervals of two pieces went in for like 5 minutes, two more pieces went in for 15 minutes, two more pieces went in for 30, 45, and an hour, I think. But yeah, yeah. So after that, I kind of lost every single number that I did. So I had to I had to redo the layout and kind of build it like a puzzle almost. See how the squiggles kind of fit in together. And somehow I managed to successfully piece them together, thankfully. But then yeah, after that, I sewed them up, which took a good minute. But after I did like 2 or 3 panels, it was kind of a breeze. You kind of got in the rhythm of it, of how to move with the flowing shapes and all that. But then I dyed the pockets and one of the loop that more of like a tobacco-y color. Yeah, and I just sewed that up. I went home to my parents to do the screen print for the STEREOFACE logo on the front. Then for the leather strap, I went to a thrift store and found a leather jacket that was kind of patchworky, which I thought was sick. Then I didn't realize that the patchwork was made up of multiple colored leathers that was all dyed black on the front, but the back end was still like the greens, the blues, reds, and stuff. So at my old job, one of my coworkers has a laser engraving machine. I work with Sam to get that monogrammy pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
See if it
you can
shows up. It's really not going to show up. Hold on. There we go.
there it is. So you can kind of see all the different colors.
There's a lot
So
going on with it.
in like darker lighting, it's a little harder to tell. So it's more of a subtle piece. We probably did like 10 sets of straps to figure out like the right depth and how much color we wanted to pop through and just really pick the right one. And what's really cool is the design for the StereoFace logo on the front has timestamp. So
I don't know if the print's big enough for the timestamp part, but I can show the logo. I'll have to pull my phone over here again. It's not going to come through on this camera, but yeah.
But it's the like the Photoshop file timestamp. So I went in and made sure it was of that date and time. Printed it right after, and that was the same exact night that you came and picked it up. So
yeah, I remember I was coming over, and you're like, "I'm just finishing it now." And I was like, "If you need more time, like just work on it." You're like, "No, I got it. It's done. Come on."
Because you were leaving that next morning to go back to Finland. You were getting these things. I finished up the last stitch as you walked through the door.
Yeah, I was like, that's crazy.
It was perfect timing.
You walked them out, and you were like snip and cut the last little bit out, and you're like, "Here you go."
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many iterations of the strap that you guys went through.
I didn't know that either.
I thought it was just a one and done. Grant, what do you think of them?
I love them. Yeah, I always treat your clothing as special pieces, so I don't just wear them. There's 2 reasons why I don't wear them day to day. A, because I want to treat them as special clothing for special occasions. B, I'm gonna be honest, never thought I'd have this problem, but it made me feel like a supermodel to wear such unique clothes, and I just don't think that I fit the vibe to just walk around wearing these cool ass pants. I never predicted being too insecure to wear such cool clothes in public, but I was like, people are gonna think I am like some influencer or something, and I'm gonna get weird questions that I don't have answers to.
That is like the best subtle promo anybody could ever give.
I put them on, and she's like, "They look cool." I was like, "Yeah, that's the problem. Why am I wearing them?" So if you're looking to make a statement, these clothes are the way to do it. You just got to be ready. You gotta know who you are, and you got to be ready to show it off.
I'm very glad that we got the opportunity to do this.
Always a pleasure to be a part of your guys' company. I've been keeping a close eye on you guys, and I love I've tried to collect at least one piece every time you drop stuff.
Heck yeah.
So I plan on sticking to that. Buy their clothes. You won't be upset.
Yeah, pleasure working with you, and as always.
I also want to see the other ones. I'm hoping are you guys going to do videos like this with the other people that you reached out to?
Yeah.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that too, because I want to see. I'm sure I'll know some of the other people that you've reached out to, and I want to see what they came up with as well. I think this is such a cool idea that you guys have to do one-of-ones for specific people.
Awesome. Well, with that, let's get back to the StereoCast. Grant, thank you for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
So yeah, that was the interview with Grant Basic, our lovely friend from Finland. Again, super stoked about these. Excited to get some of that content out there. I know there's a good chunk of it, so it'll be nice to get some eyes on it. Give it the appreciation it deserves.
And to even do the one-on-ones with more people, I think it's a really fun way, given the size of our company, to get a little bit of exposure and to really just be creative and get to collaborate with other people. So yeah, I hope we get to keep doing it.
I hope so too. It's definitely something that I think a few things are in the work for the near or semi-near future. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that.
We are going to wrap up this StereoCast here. Thank you all so much for watching, and shout out to our 9 YouTube subscribers currently, as well as our 59 Instagram followers. Thank you all so much for helping us grow this community. Thank you for watching again, and we will see you all next week. Take care. Bye.